take a few minutes to do right now is give you some tips on how to make a great shake. So I typically make my shake kind of like a milkshake consistency, but not too thick. You don't need a spoon, you don't need a straw. I kind of sip it out of my jar. So I have a Ninja, but previously to this I had a regular blender and it works just fine. The only thing I would say if you use frozen fruit is like don't use an entire frozen banana. I used to chop it up in pieces, but with this monster I don't have to do that anymore. But my keys to success are to use about 8 or 10 ounces of water. It kind of varies depending on the consistency that you want to have in your shake. I use about, again, depending on the consistency I want, or whether I'm using frozen fruit or frozen veggies in it, I may use a few less ice cubes, but I probably use about 6 to 8. I'm gonna put in about, looks like about 8 today to see what consistency we get. I think one of the keys to making great consistency shakes is frozen fruit. So frozen bananas is one of my favorites. I use half a banana in my shake. I peel them, cut them in half, and then freeze them. And it works out amazing. It really does add a nice consistency. But I will say that I've used frozen strawberries, frozen mango. My husband uses frozen blueberries almost every day. That's what he loves. So any one of those will work. I'm gonna go with the frozen banana today. And then some other things that I do pretty much on a daily basis is I will put spinach in my shake. I was not a believer in this at the beginning, but it's a great way to get vegetables in. You can't taste it. You can use it fresh, or just as a little tip here, this one's free of charge, as Tony Horton says, that you can, like, you know when the spinach gets down towards the bottom and it's like, eek, it might be starting to get a little limp and being a little funky. I freeze it. So I have about 6 of these bags in my fridge because we buy these big ones. And then towards the end, you're like, eh, so I freeze it. And then I've got a frozen one that I can use as well. Just for ease today though, I will put in some fresh. What I will tell you, just kind of the order I like to put things in, because I've ended up with Shakeology powder all over the floor here, is, let me just put this in first. I'm going with chocolate today. And then I'll put in some spinach. You can measure this. I usually put in about a cup. I've started to get an eyeball for it, so I just kind of put it in on my own. To me, it's okay if I go a little bit over because the spinach is so good for you. Another great tip is you can use natural peanut butter. It makes the taste so amazing with almost every flavor of Shakeology, but also PB2 because it has the flavor of peanut butter without the fat in it. So that's a great peanut butter substitute that I use to kind of flavor up my shakes a little bit. I use about a tablespoon, maybe, I would guess. And I think that's about it for today. I will put the blender top on this, put it on the blender until it's smooth, and we're good to go.